We're here with Natalie Dillon from the UW Oshkosh softball team. So Natalie, could you give us your year in school, your major, and your minor?
All right, so I'm Natalie Dillon. I am a sophomore. I major in journalism, English, and a minor in German. For softball this year, I am an outfielder, and I've picked up a pitching role as well.
So when you were choosing colleges 2 years ago, how did you weigh trying to pick a school that had a good softball program with a school that had really solid academics?
A couple other of the schools I looked at were Cardinal Stritch. I did look at lacrosse, and I think, a bunch of other like UW system schools. But really, a lot of it came down to once I came to Oshkosh and a bunch of the camps and got to know coaches, that really played a huge impact because I just got to know Coach Byer and Coach Anderson, and I felt comfortable. I already felt like I was part of, the per se family. Because when I went to lacrosse, it just didn't feel right.
Now you've obviously been playing organized softball for a very long time, but how much does that commitment jump up when you go from playing in high school to playing in college?
The level of things we do, like in high school, really all you do is, have practice, have games, and the only other commitment is like a team dinner, right before games or stuff like that. But in college, you have meetings before practice almost every day. You have meetings with your coaches during the week just to check in and see how you're doing. We have lifting schedules. In the fall, we have team study tables that you're required to go to. It's just, you're around the team, you're associated with the team so often, and it's a full-time thing. That's why, when they say you do one sport in college, it's so tough compared to like, oh, I'm a 3-sport athlete in high school. It's not the same.
And do you go to a lot of those group sessions with the team, or do you like to kind of study on your own? What's your feel on that?
It really all depends. Most of the time I make an effort to go because it is scheduled time that I know, okay, this is when I'm going to study today. And the reason we have team study tables is because there's so many people, like we have a lot of in the nursing program or kinesiology, so they go to those study tables, and if they have questions in a class, everyone's right there to answer it. So that's really what Coach wanted to set up too, is that we are a resource for each other. So I really like going to them and just seeing them in the fall because you don't see your teammates as much in the off season.
And can you talk about making that jump from high school to college academically? I mean, was it kind of overwhelming your first semester as a freshman?
To be honest, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was because in high school, they freak you out. Like, I remember I had one teacher that brought in a college student just to have us be like, oh my God, there's all this work, there's all of this everything. And so personally, it freaked me out enough that I kind of got those study habits in high school. So transitioning wasn't as bad. But when it comes to homework in season, that's where it gets a little difficult as I'm already starting to feel it a little bit, and just having to manage and plan ahead of time because every part of your day, every free amount of time you get, I really should be doing something. It's getting into a different routine in terms of, having to stay up a little later to do stuff, to get it turned in, less actual free time to hang out with friends and do whatever we want there. So in terms of a regular load, not too bad, but especially when it comes to spring season, I have to be on top of everything I've got.
Is the team pretty good about holding each other accountable? I mean, making sure everybody's going to class and keeping their grades up?
Oh yeah, our phrase this year is PAM, process. The A is accountability, and then M for mindset. So that's a huge thing for us. If we have any questions, they'll help answer it. There's a bunch of us that purposely pick classes together if we can, or they'll say like, hey, did you have this professor? Did you have this class? And stuff like that. In terms of like practices on our own and lifting, accountability that way, we always try and lift with a partner. We communicate very well on, okay, I'm going then, is anyone else going? And then for hitting, we set up times and, hit with someone. It's just so that, we all know we're doing what we're supposed to.